Introducing the 100% electric Nissan Leaf. Innovation for the planet. Innovation for all.
1, 2, boom! Woo! 1, 2.
Hello, Hong Kong. Thank you for joining us and
working together in all kinds of ways. Together, we are the human network. Cisco.
In Persian mythology, warriors ate pomegranates before battle, believing they would be rewarded with invincibility and bodies as solid as bronze. And only Pom Wonderful has the juice of 4 whole pomegranates and is backed by modern science. Powerful then, Pom Wonderful now.
What does it take to excel in today's business world? Our professors know because they've been there, and they work closely with business leaders to develop curriculum to meet the needs of top businesses, which means when our graduates walk in the room, they're not only prepared, they're prepared to lead. DeVry University's Keller Graduate School of Management. Learn how to grow the business of you at keller.edu.
In the next 60 seconds, we want you to qualify to be the next $50,000 home makeover winner. Pick up the phone and get ready to start dialing when the number appears on your screen. Call the number on your screen now, and we'll mail you a key. If your key opens the lock in your local Direct Buy Club, you'll be the next $50,000 home makeover winner. Operators are standing by, so call right now. Direct Buy Club has already awarded over $1 million, and someone is going to win the $50,000 home makeover. Why not you? If the phone number is blinking, the phone lines are now open. Call now to receive your key and an invitation to your local Direct Buy Club, where members can save thousands or more paying low direct from the source prices on big ticket items like kitchen cabinets, home furnishings, flooring, bathroom fixtures, and so much more. Call now and get your key to winning a $50,000 home makeover. Someone is going to win the $50,000 home makeover. Why not you?
Not over on election night. Morning Joe breaks down the critical races. Joe, Mika, and Willie bring you the late-breaking results. See how the outcomes may shift the balance of power and impact America's future. The post-election special edition of Morning Joe. Tomorrow, 6 to 9 a.m. on MSNBC.
While we continue to await guidance on the Senate races, let's look at the governors at this point, and there's a lot of red up there. They made pronounced efforts throughout the country on the state houses, and the changes, the switches to the Republicans include Oklahoma and Kansas and Wyoming and Wisconsin and Michigan and Tennessee, and of course, probably the biggest of them all, Pennsylvania. Howard Feynman, who's been at the Listening Post all night, is indicating to us that it is a big night for Haley Barbour, and that's why is it a big night for Haley Barbour, other than that all nights are big nights for Haley Barbour?
Well, he's big for all nights.
He's big for all nights. Well, Haley, you know, Haley's been very quietly going around collecting chits for guess what, a presidential campaign. I understand he was on Morning Joe this morning denying any, you know, that he'd thought about being president. That's true. He hasn't thought about it. He's studied the heck out of it and is already doing it. He's head of the Republican Governors Association. He's gone around and had dinner with and raised money with and counsel with and had heart-to-heart talks with all the Republican gubernatorial candidates, many of whom are winning. One of the things that's going to be really important at the end of tonight, I think, guys, is that it's possible that the Republicans, if they win Ohio, are going to have a sort of uninterrupted arc of governorships all the way from New Jersey, from the Atlantic Ocean all the way up through the Great Lakes, which is absolutely crucial in the presidential races to come, not to mention places like Florida, if they hang on and win that, and South Carolina, which is so important in the Republican primary world. So Haley Barbour out of Mississippi, who got good reviews for some of what he did at Katrina and his work on other things like the oil spill, and who was once head of the Republican Party, is a very serious, if quiet at this point, presidential candidate. And I know that he's going to be on stage tonight, and he'll be around tomorrow in Washington, D.C. And in that whole roster of governors who are going to be looking at running for the presidency, he's one that most people haven't thought of a lot, but he's going to have a lot of friends among the new governors.
One that has not been thought of and will not be in that list is Carl Palladino, Howard, and
yes.
Because he didn't win, and he didn't win by a lot. And if we need a pick-me-up right now,
yes.
Mr. Palladino is giving his concession speech, and I'm getting my popcorn. Let's listen.
Thank you, eyes. Got to put that one on us.
He's going to reveal himself as a performance artist.
Oh, God. I'm humbled. I just wanted to say a few words tonight after a hard-fought campaign.
Campaign, my wife and daughters, for their hard work in the campaign trail.
My best friend, Billy, my son, for taking over the company on such short notice. And my son-in-law, Luke, for putting up with for putting up with me. With this campaign, we've galvanized New York State voters with a policy message that reflects the desires of all New Yorkers. Lower taxes, less government spending, more accountability and transparency of state government, and the end of insider political dealings in Albany. Last year, with the unexpected and remarkable ascent of the Tea Party, we saw the passion of regular people spill into the streets. I shared their feelings. We're frustrated with big government. We're tired of our politicians spending like drunken sailors and giving us weak elected representatives. We're tired of the backroom deals and contempt for the will of the people. We're tired of government suffocating the potential and the promise of the individual. And yes, I joined the Tea Party movement for the same reason I joined the United States Army, because I love my country.
Well, at the risk of hearing or missing a statement by Mr. Palladino about some story about a drunken sailor, that is where we will leave this brief vignette into one of the more remarkable campaigns for governor of New York, one of the more dubious elected offices in the free world, decided by quite a lot tonight in favor of the second governor, Cuomo. On the subject of governors, the former governor, or still the governor, the term-limited governor of Pennsylvania, Ed Rendell, joins us now. And Governor, we thank you for your time tonight.
Thank you, Keith.
Obviously, it was that your seat was not retained, your chair was not retained by the party. Your reaction to that?
Well, unfortunate in the sense that Dan Honorado, our candidate, was a good guy with good progressive policies. He ran a great campaign, but he just got swamped by money. In the last week of the campaign, Tom Corbett, the Republican, raised $6 million, and it was just too much to overcome. The good news is Joe Sestak is waging an incredible battle. It's very close, and 40% of Montgomery County, which is a suburban Philadelphia county, is outstanding. Chris will know about that, and I think Joe Sestak will run very well there. So that's up in the air, clearly up in the air.
Let me ask you about Pennsylvania Democratic Party. You're a Philly guy. You do incredibly well in the Philadelphia area, the southeastern Pennsylvania area, not so well in the T. How does the Democratic Party become a stronger party in the state? How does it become more statewide? What's it got to do so a guy like Sestak can win?
Well, it's got to perform. And Chris, I wouldn't take too much out of this election. I think we were faced with the worst economic conditions since the Great Depression. And I think whenever that happens in the nation's history, the party that's in power gets clobbered. Look at John Lynch in New Hampshire. Won 2 years ago with over 70% of the vote. And I know he won tonight, but he won by just a handful of percentage points. It just is out there, and it's very difficult to overcome that. I think you can win by performing. In my first term as governor, we went and did a lot of good things all around the state, invested money in roads, bridges, infrastructure, economic development. Our economy has been better than the national average for almost my entire time as governor. And I went from carrying 15 counties, almost all in the southeast when I won the first time, to carrying 33 counties in my reelection. And a lot of those counties were in Republican rural areas, but we invested wisely in those areas like nobody else had ever done, and the people rewarded us. We've got to govern well. We have to continue to spend money and invest money, but invest it wisely, use it effectively, implement it well. That's the key to proving that Democrats and progressives can make government work. I would have loved to run for re-election this year, as tough as it was, and I would have had a tough fight. I would have loved to make the case that the things we've done, the investments we've made in education, in infrastructure, in energy, have changed the face of Pennsylvania. Obviously, I didn't get that chance, and it would have been tough for me given the national trend and the wave. But Democrats have to talk about the things we do to make government better, to make life better for people. I think the Obama administration, Chris, has done a lot of great things. Credit card reform, great for people. Student loan reform, great for our young kids. Financial reform, expanding CHIP by 10 million young kids. So many good things, not even getting into health care and stimulus. We just didn't sell them.
When is the Democratic Party going to be a building party again instead of just a check-writing party?
Well, a building party...
You know the problem. The party used to build things. They built America. They built everything. They built everything in Washington, everything in the big cities, the subway systems, the train systems. They believed in public investment in building things. 30th Street Station.
Sure.
It wouldn't be there with this current mentality. The current mentality is write some checks to get out of the way. Cut some taxes,
Absolutely.
Don't do anything.
Chris, who's the #1 advocate for rebuilding
You are,
this
but
country's infrastructure?
it doesn't seem like we can't even catch up to the French. They've got the TGV. They've got the China. We got nothing anymore. The Chinese are beating us. 300 miles an hour trains.
And
We're
Chris,
going tooting along at 60 miles an hour in Amtrak. It's a joke because America doesn't build anymore.
When we build something, we not only create the jobs on the building site, we revitalize American manufacturing, and we need to revitalize steel and concrete and asphalt and aggregate and all those things.
We're building Moynihan Station in New York to connect to what? What's it going to connect to?
Don't get me started.
I'm sorry, because I just don't see the Democrats having the confidence to build stuff. Have a capital budget and say we got to build again.
Yeah, the problem is, Chris, is we're afraid. And I said a couple of weeks ago that Democrats are wussies, and we are wussies, and most of the guys who voted against health care lost. Am I right?
Yeah, well, okay, well, maybe that was a lack of tangible success in building things again.
Right,
it's
and
a promissory note, maybe.
We've got to get out there and say we can rebuild this country. We can create jobs. Government can be a catalyst for doing it. Right now, with all the talk of the deficit, with all the talk about taxes, jobs are the #1 thing on the minds of Pennsylvanians, and we have to respond to that.
Replace the smell of decay with the smell of construction.
Absolutely.
People love the smell of a job site.
Absolutely.
They do. We don't see anything anymore. The Golden Gate Bridge would never be built under this crowd. Nothing would get built.
Absolutely.
Well,
I couldn't agree with you more.
I think Ed Rendell's neighboring governor in New Jersey is vetoing the building of a necessary new tunnel connecting New York and New Jersey. I mean, we haven't done this in 100 years, and to think that our transportation needs haven't changed since we built the last tunnel.
Is New Jersey going it alone?
No, I mean, that's the Republican notion of where we go from here.
But let me suggest, Lawrence, that there's a part of what Christie's saying makes sense. The cost overruns in these projects are disgraceful.
Right.
The time that it takes for environmental impact statements that should be cut in half is disgraceful. It causes the prices to go up. We've got to, Chris Christie's right about one thing. We've got to spend our money more effectively and more wisely and target it well. But he's wrong about stopping this project. He should demand accountability and go ahead with the project. But he's not entirely wrong. And look, there is limited money to spend. We've got to spend it well, but we can do it. And unless we do big things, Chris, and you're absolutely right, unless we do big things, we are destined to become a second-rate economic power. And this Congress, whoever controls it, this Congress better get to work. We cannot have 2 years of political posturing for the next election, or